national emergency that he's declared. Also, there's the big question of how they're going to count non-citizens, right? Because effectively what they would have to do is ask people, are you a U.S. citizen? They would actually have to ask it. The question is, how would they prove it?
It's
if
on
people
there.
claim they are, and would people just say they aren't? Who knows? It would actually be up to the individual to tell the truth. But it also plays into Congress delegating budgets, how that would affect states. Effectively, this would remake the United States. This would have a massive impact. If this census were to be done and not count illegal immigrants and non-citizens, we would wake up and live in a different country. This would have a sweeping effect. My personal take, basically, this could alter the America that we know at both the federal and state levels. Is that a good thing? Well, I think so, because we live in a representative democracy. Remember what a republic is. America is not direct democracy. We're not really a democracy. We're a republic. A republic is representative democracy, meaning we elect people to represent us in the political system.
Not
If you
bureaucrats we
alter the
didn't
people who are
elect.
being represented, you alter the system of government. And I believe that our government has been altered in ways that do not represent the American people in many regards. And part of the reason it does not represent the American people in many regards is because they tried representing everyone from everywhere. And if you do that to a large enough extent, well, you alter the culture of the country, you alter the politics of the country, you change where the money goes. The money doesn't even necessarily benefit the American people. Some have argued it's gone on like that for so long that has become actually what our country is. Is that America now? It has been. The Republicans are trying to change it. They're trying to make it so, no, there's a difference between a citizen and a non-citizen. Being an American actually means something. It's not like everybody can be one. And we do have a national identity. Trump is taking actions to bring us back in that direction. Now, it would also give us finally a clearer picture of how many illegal immigrants are in the country as well. And it would also very likely just massively alter state representation in Congress. Even everything else aside, the nature of having members of Congress only representing American citizens will also force them to change the kinds of policy they represent. Because if you have a politician who's elected in an area that is predominantly, illegal immigrants or non-citizens, it means they're representing non-citizens. And so the issues they'll have to bring to Congress would be the issues of their constituents. There's a lot of them, frankly. If they were to change that, my old neighborhood in Jackson Heights, Queens, that's AOC's district, Ocasio-Cortez, it could make people like her, for example, have to look at different policies if they're no longer representing, the population of their communities, which if you go to that area, it was mostly illegal immigrants, at least where I lived. On this point as well, it could also paint sanctuary cities in a very bad light. Sanctuary cities, sanctuary states, given it would show how many illegal immigrants have actually been there, and it would also it would paint them as a tool to get basically federal cash and federal representation. I don't know if they'll ever try that as a crime, but they could argue if someone was doing that intentionally, then the act of doing it was an act of defrauding the American people. It also raises the big question as well of what Trump has been claiming, that this may have actually been part of a intent of mass illegal immigration and of policies to count non-citizens in the census to swing the elections. Trump is publicly referring to this as a type of fraud. He's referring to this as a type of interference in the elections. And he's alleging, which is the basis on which he's doing this, a mid-decade census, he's alleging that this was an act of defrauding the American people and of interfering with our elections, which is the basis on which he's having this redone. On another topic, there's a move to overturn Trump's ability to put tariffs in place. I'll be talking about this more after a quick break. It seems the tariffs are mostly set for now, but there's a movement in the courts that actually aims to overturn Trump's ability to put tariffs in place as president like he's been doing. And Trump is alleging that if he loses this power, the economy is going to collapse. He said this on Truth Social. He said tariffs are having a huge positive impact on the stock market almost every day. New records are set. In addition, hundreds of billions of dollars are pouring into our country's coffers. If a radical left court ruled against us at this late date in an attempt to bring down or disturb the largest amount of money, wealth creation, and influence the USA has ever seen, it would be impossible to ever recover or pay back these massive sums of money and honor. He said it would be 1929 all over again, a Great Depression.
Right.
Referring, of course, to the old Roaring 30s and the horrible economy the country went through. He says if they were going to rule against the wild strength and power of America, well, they should have done so long ago at the beginning of the case, where our entire country, while never having a chance at this kind of greatness again, would not have been put in 1929-style jeopardy. There's no way America could recover from such a judicial tragedy, but I know our court system better than anyone. There is no one in history that has gone through the trials, tribulation, and uncertainty such as I. And absolutely terrible, but also amazingly beautiful things can happen. He says our country deserves success and greatness, not turmoil, failure, and disgrace. God bless America. In other words, he's saying, don't take away the tariffs, you'll crash the economy. That's basically what he's saying there. Imagine that, though, right? A second Great Depression, eaten by our own debt. Now, would that actually happen if a court took away all the tariffs and put an end to all of that? Well, you could argue. We've been digging ourselves deeper into debt with or without tariffs. I mean, remember Elon Musk? One of the reasons he had this whole break from the Trump administration, from Republicans, I don't know if you say Trump per se, and Trump. One of the reasons he had a big break from Republicans was because of the spending bill they had. Elon Musk is saying, look, we're already trillions in debt, crazy amounts in debt. You need to start spending below your means, not above your means, if you want to get out of debt. Republicans are saying that they need to spend right now because they're trying to build a new economy. They're effectively trying to remake the entire economic system of the United States. From what I get, Trump's economic plan, the whole thing he's working on, right? The whole idea he's going with, my personal take, it revolves around using tariffs to bring in money for the U.S. Treasury. For the first time, and I don't even know how long, America actually has a surplus because of the money coming in through tariffs. And he's also using this as a tool to bring back American manufacturing. In other words, they're trying to restore the productive power of the United States and the internal economy of the United States. They're trying to stop us from sending money all over the world. They're trying to fix all the bad trade deals we have with, I don't know, is there any country we don't lose money with? They're trying to make it so we actually make a profit, or at least have a balanced trade deal with every country on earth, that other countries are not forbidding American products, that our countries are not tariffing us. I would add to that, everyone's unhappy they're getting tariffed. What do they say about their tariffs on the United States? Have Canadians been protesting on the streets about their tariffs on American products? Have the Japanese been protesting on the streets about their tariffs on American products? Have Indians been protesting on the streets about their tariffs on American products and their trade barriers that restrict America from doing business in their countries? The answer to all of that is no, a very resounding no. So why is it controversial when Trump puts tariffs on them that are designed, although you could say they go a bit above and beyond, are relatively designed, let's say, to just have a balanced trade deal, even then America still loses a bit with them? Is that, I don't know, how do you understand that? Is that bad on America, that we're no longer wanting to lose money on trade deals, or is it great for us? I don't know. On that front, the other argument is that America has effectively done this for so long that the economies of the entire world have become dependent on it. And if you just pull the rug out from underneath effectively the entire world economy without warning and without giving them time to fix things ahead of time, you're probably going to collapse the entire global economy. And many people are I think this is one of the reasons why they are very unhappy with Trump. They're arguing that you're doing this so quickly and to such a large extent that you're going to basically destroy the economies of most of the world, and through that force political change in most countries of the world. What this will very likely lead to is the end to a lot of socialist policies. Many countries will not be able to have the same kind of kickbacks or free healthcare or, I don't know, massive welfare systems for illegal immigrants or migrants that they've been having for a long time. This will force political change globally. And it will also probably make the quality of life lower in most of the world temporarily. Maybe for the next 5 years, 10 years, depends on the country. And so is that the responsible thing to do? Is that what's best for everybody? Or is that not our concern? Is it about what's best for America? And maybe about what's best for these countries in the long term. Maybe they've been living in unhealthy states. Maybe the direction they've been on was never sustainable, and just depending on the United States to send them money and make bad trade deals that benefit them and not us, maybe that was never healthy to begin with, and maybe forcing change that creates a legitimate strong economy in these other countries that can stand on their own 2 feet. Maybe that is what's better for them. I don't know. That being said, there is a lot of push right now to try to change Trump's trajectory, stop him from doing this. And there are also some places looking to just kind of hold out, saying, okay, maybe if we wait another 3 years, just keep it busy in the courts for 3 years, it'll all go away, one big bad dream, and things will go back to the way they were, and everybody's happy, right? There's a lot of takes on this. I also think that's why Trump is trying to move so quickly on it, because he does know that he's acting against the clock. And if you're going to force long-term change, especially like this, you need to get it done early rather than later, because it will be overturned if it gets done later. It'll be harder to overturn if he does it within the next year. If he waits more than a year, it'll be much more easily overturned. In other news, though, large-scale protests are erupting in China. In fact, in many parts of China, people are calling for an end of the Chinese Communist Party. Here's more on this from NTD's China in Focus. Watch.
Early Tuesday in Jiangyu, screams, police sirens, and angry protesters shouting filled the city's streets. Following the protesters' chants, local reports say police fired tear gas and flashbang grenades into the crowds. So what sparked these mass protests? A video recently went viral online showing several teenage girls bullying another girl, bragging that they face no consequences from law enforcement. Local authorities say the bullies have been punished, but Chinese media reports see otherwise. That has sparked anger among many local residents. They're now demanding proper punishment for the bullies.
Now, this is actually a big deal, and it's a big deal for several reasons. One, it's not isolated. This isn't like a local protest happening in one part of the country. In China, you actually do have a lot of mass protests. They often don't get any news coverage. One of the reasons being that people just can't get the videos out. Epoch Times, especially our Chinese edition, we're blacklisted in China, but of course we do distribute there, and people use ways of getting around the firewall. We get information on large-scale protests happening pretty regularly. The issue is a lot of them are not connected, right? They're kind of sporadic. Worker protest here, factory here having an issue. It's all kind of sporadic and random, though. This is a big deal because it's coordinated. It's all being kind of sparked by the same issue, meaning a unified national protest in China. And the problem the CCP is going to face is if this continues to spread. Now, the powder keg of this, the thing that set it all off, it was a viral video of a schoolgirl being beaten by another young girl, and the girls are like, "We won't face punishment." Now, why is it such a big deal? Is the kids who are beating, oftentimes as young girls, they're oftentimes the sons and daughters of Chinese Communist Party officials, right? They're what you call princelings. And so the reason they're saying we won't face punishment is because of the favoritism system of the Chinese Communist Party. These are Communist Party faction members, right? It's the children of CCP members. And what they're saying is basically, we live under a different system of law than you do. you peasants, we can do whatever we want to you, we can beat you, we can rape you, we can kill you, and they're saying there's nothing you can do about it. Just take it, we can record it, we can post it on the internet, and nothing's going to happen. And so when people are protesting against it, they're not protesting saying, hey, make these kids face justice. They're protesting saying the Chinese Communist Party is what is doing this. They see the Chinese Communist Party as the factor behind these kids believing they can do this and not face any kind of repercussions. And so when they're protesting against this, by extension, this is a protest against the CCP itself. This, the communist society, the classless society, which is ironically the most classist society you can possibly have, where you have the Communist Party members in like everybody else. The Communist Party members can use everybody else in whatever way they want, and they have no voice. And that is the way every communist country has ever been whenever they take power. The whole nature of equality is always like, well, right, what was the saying from Animal Farm? All animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. And the CCP believes it is more equal than others. They can do whatever they want to anybody else and face no punishment for it. This protest you see happening right now is a protest against the CCP itself. It's a protest against that system of the CCP. And I would say also, again, stuff like this happens all the time. There are very regularly videos like that being spread around the Chinese internet. My point with saying that is the protests you see happening right now are not spurred on by one incident. It has been a buildup of incidents like that, and it has now erupted. Meaning, it wasn't like people saw that video and got mad about that video. They see videos like that all the time. It's that they're fed up with the CCP because they've seen it so much. They've seen it so much, and they're tired of the CCP. This, combined with the economic problems, combined with the political infighting, combined with Xi Jinping losing military power, all of this risks, frankly, the basic survival of the CCP. We could be watching the start of the end of the CCP right now. Well, everyone, that's all for tonight. Thank you for joining us, and as always, please take care of yourselves, stay informed, and stay free.